Good evening, everybody. It's RJ Shay. I'm here tonight at the St. Louis Artists Guild in Clayton, and I'm speaking with our guest presenter tonight, artist, entrepreneur. What else would you be? This is Dan Zettwoch. Dan, what other designation could I give to you tonight?
Local illustrator, printmaker, cartoonist, part-time teacher. I think that covers it.
Where you teach, Dan?
Teach at the Sam Fox School of Art and Design at Washington University.
Really? How long have you been doing that?
I just pitch in when they need someone to help out in the illustration, communication, design department.
Now, you went to Washington University, did you not?
It's true, I did. Long ago.
How long ago?
In the late 90s, I studied under Douglas Dowd and Jeff Pike.
And when you graduated from Washington University, where did you go from there? What did you think you wanted to do?
I think when I was in school, I had an idea of being, an old-fashioned editorial illustrator, doing covers of the New Yorker and then painting and all that stuff. But I had taken a summer job doing more infographics rendering and technical rendering and what you might call business-to-business work. And that's kind of the world I fell into of digital art making and business-oriented art and information design. So that's what I did immediately after school. And the whole time I'd still been working on personal work and more fun work, and the two sort of combined into this crazy style I have now.
Did you get a lot of digital training at Washington University while you were there?
When I was an illustration major there, it was the first year that they forced illustration students to have a computer. So I was the first class of illustrators that had to be able to paint and do something on the computer. So that was it ended up being great for me because that was kind of the direction I went. I felt like it was a controversial decision at the time. A lot of my classmates didn't want anything to do with the computer, but I think that was a wise move for the school to force us to start moving that direction.
Yeah, digital art didn't seem like old school at that time, did it?
No, it didn't. And when we look back on the stuff we were making with computers back then, it's a bit embarrassing too, but I'm certainly glad I learned those skills.
How do you incorporate that into what you're doing today? And of course, we're going to be throwing some slides in here so that people can see what we're doing.
Right. Pretty much everything I draw and make these days is some combination of something handmade or hand-drawn or inked or painted or collaged and then scanned in and filtered into a software, at the very least, to be sent off to magazines or to be published. I think long gone are the days of bubble wrapping paintings and sending them to magazines. I think everyone has to at least have enough familiarity with the computers to format and present their work as best as they can be.
I remember the first time I sent a piece of art off digitally, I felt like I was like ripping somebody off. I thought, that's it? And I got paid.
Yeah, so now you have all this original art sitting around your studio, which you didn't used to have, right? Or would they send it back to you?
Not mostly. I mean, all of that never got going until probably the early 80s.
Right. Now I've had to find a place to stash all of my originals, so they're around.
Well, and you've done quite a bit of digital art with Adobe Illustrator, which to me didn't seem intuitive at all with what you did because you're a kind of a free-form drawing sketch guy, and all of your cartoon stuff doesn't seem like it fit very well with the digital style, but you made it work.
I actually don't think of myself as a very great drawer or a draftsman. I mean, I have a style that I feel I have to really work hard and to make it feel constructed. I never felt like the kind of guy that could wave a brush and get a beautiful line or fancy drapery or anything on a drawing. So the world of building something in vectors like in Adobe Illustrator or building something digitally kind of fit with I would have what I would call a constructed drawing style that feels more like I'm building something out of an erector set than it would be an old-fashioned draftsman. So to me, building something in Illustrator is pretty similar to building something with an ink pen. You're building forms and lines and shapes, and how does all this stuff fitting together into an interlocking system that is going to work or communicate something.
Well, having to do it myself, I'm impressed with your knowledge and your background and how you got to the point that you do today, because it's fantastic. And I think of you mostly for your poster designs and all your silkscreen stuff that you've done that I think is very retro and unique. And you're just kind of doing whatever the heck you want, right?
Yeah, the printmaking thing it's my most fun thing that I work on, of my sort of different work that I get, because you're using your hands, you're pushing ink through screens, you're mass producing your vision of something, even if it's to 25 or 50 prints. And you can do a lot of stuff with silkscreen printmaking that you can't do even still with even the fanciest digital printers or offset printers. I'm talking about fluorescent inks and metallic inks and nice paper, and creating objects that people want to have around them. People want to have in their homes, or they want to experience something on the street that compels them to come to an event. So I think there's still a huge spot for poster making and handmade posters.
Well, I find your art to be fine art, no matter what it's advertising. It's all fantastic. And tell me, where do you do all this silk screening?
I do it in my basement. If I had a garage, I would say I'm the garage band version of an artist. But yeah, I just have a basement of my home. I used to do it all in my 1-bedroom apartment in the bathtub, but I've moved up a bit, and I love being able to create all this stuff without having to leave my house.
You used to do this in your bathtub.
I did.
And how did you do that exactly?
Well, I was a single gentleman. It didn't matter that I had an ink-stained bathtub I don't know that I ever got a security deposit back. But yeah, I used to have to create a dark room in my bathroom where I would tape up all the windows so that no light could get in. Then, yeah, I would rinse these screens out and walk into my other room, which was my bedroom, and inches away from my bed, I would be squeegeeing these prints and then stacking them up all over covering every surface with prints, letting them dry. So
yeah, it's hard to believe you were single. But you are, in fact, married, and you're getting ready to have a new family, and that's exciting.
It's exciting, and it's also a little bit scary in terms of how that's going to impact my work. And
I'll be glad to give you some tips.
Oh, good. I'll actually really see.
Let me give you one right now. Start getting some sleep.
So you think building up sleep is better than practicing not getting sleep?
I have no idea. I'm only 27 years old. Look at me. I got 3 kids.
Gotcha.
Okay. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for coming tonight, Dan. It was a fantastic presentation. Your art is wonderful. And for those of you who don't know Dan, I want you to go look at his website and his blog, and that is
danzettwoch.com. If you can spell my last name, I'm very easy to Google. Z as in zebra, ETTWOCH.
ZETTWOCH. What more can one say? From the St. Louis Artists Guild in St. Louis, RJ signing off with Dan Zettwoch. Thanks for coming.